Crystal Springs Reserve. This is the springs. This is the springs, and this is the river. Okay, guys? This past Thursday, the whole 7th grade went on a field trip to Crystal Springs Preserve. While we were there, we learned about a couple of things. For one, we learned what pH is. If I recall, pH is a way to measure how acidic or basic a liquid is. We tested pH levels in the spring and the river at Crystal Springs. Another thing we learned is dissolved oxygen. Dissolved oxygen is a surface interaction with the atmosphere. Dissolved oxygen is tested by when the oxygen in the water created by wastes and plants photosynthesizing is tested to see if the water has enough or not enough oxygen. We learned about nitrates also. Nitrates are when plants and animals decompose and break down to make ammonia, and when that combines with oxygen, it creates nitrates. Phosphates is the last thing we learned about. They are stuff in the water. When it is increased in the water, they make aquatic plants grow very big. But they create algae, and when algae is created, it lowers the amount of oxygen in the water. At Crystal Springs, we learned a little bit about something called biodiversity, and that is macroinvertebrates, the variety of species and the quantity within species. We want to see more biodiversity in our ecosystem because it improves water quality and helps lower pollution in the ecosystem. At Crystal Springs, we went geocaching, and that is when you go hunting or looking for hidden objects in a hidden place or a forest using GPS coordinates on a device by satellite feeds. We learned about something called an aquifer, and that is an underground layer of sponge-like rock that holds water. A spring is when water flows from an aquifer to the Earth's surface, and at Crystal Springs, it does the exact same thing. At Crystal Springs, there were a lot of animals and species of animals. One of them really stood out to me, and that was hard to find. This animal is a catfish. When we went into Crystal Springs, we caught some catfish. The catfish even bit one of the students and turned her hand red. The catfish was unique because of its whiskers and overall resemblance of a cat. I am so glad we went to Crystal Springs Preserve to witness this overall great experience. This really was a great experience because of all the things we learned about at Crystal Springs. Crystal Springs is a great place to go, and I hope to go again.